UB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
See, I thought it was going to take years for somebody to top the Tom Brady roast, and then Pat Riley stepped up to the mic and went on an absolute heater.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
The man your man could smell.
Theo Dorsey is theoretically speaking.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
Streaming live on YouTube, here's Theo Dorsey.
Man, this weekend was bananas. Absolutely ridiculous when you talk about not just all of the fun activations and things we had here in South Florida, but, I mean, we literally just got the conclusion, or at least I hope so, the conclusion of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. I mean, C-Cat, I've been talking to you about this thing since last week. Now it's cool in sports media. Everybody's talking about Kendrick and Drake now. I've been talking about this thing for a couple of weeks now, and I told you, it's getting ugly. Were you tapped in at all to the Kendrick Drake stuff from this weekend?
Everything I know about this has been broadcasted over our airwaves between the hours of 5 and 6.
That's incredible.
Yeah, our audience knows, if they only know the information from this, the same amount as I do. Not much.
Well, just know it got ugly. It got ugly beyond any kind of reconciliation, and I believe it's over. It seemed that there was a white flag waved by Drake, but we'll see. Also this weekend, we had the NBA postseason. We got to watch Anthony Edwards play basketball. I can't wait to get into that. We had F1 Miami, which I went to. We had Sunfest right here in West Palm Beach, which I made sure to get to. I saw Nelly live after our, theoretically speaking, on the road from Sunfest. Action-packed, incredibly action-packed. And then, of course, on Sunday night was the roast of Tom Brady on Netflix. What were they calling it? The greatest roast of all time?
Yep.
The greatest roast of all time. Kevin Hart as the MC. Of course, you brought in the, what does Jeff Ross call himself again? The roast master.
Yep, that's it.
Pulls up first to the pulpit to spit some fire. And it was great. I mean, there were no holds barred. It was attacking his relationship with his now ex-wife, Giselle. They talked about Deflategate. I mean, they went on the cheating of Tom Brady. It really felt like there were no barriers to this thing, so it was fun. It was a fun 3-hour event. C-Cat, I think you watched it live. I had to watch it back because, again, the beef flared back up on Sunday night. That kind of took over my household. We had to play that thing back a couple of times and discuss it, and then I went back to the Netflix stuff.
I treated this Brady roast like a playoff game. Like, I was looking at the clock. We saw a movie in the afternoon. I saw that it was like 7:30. At the store, I was like, babe, we got to go. We got to get it. Yeah. It's about to start. Come on now. Let's go. Go.
I'm not even mad at that because you know what? It was big as the Super Bowl, as some would say, and it did have a lot of nice nuggets out of that. We're going to get to that. We actually, because we deprived our fine audience of a top 5 on Fridays. We always do the top 5 on Fridays. We're going to give a top 5 of the roast of Tom Brady. That's going to come up later on in Theoretically Speaking. Can't wait for that one. There's some really big hitters that we want to get to. But I do want to start on the roast that Pat Riley had of his own Miami Heat roster some 2 hours ago as he addressed the media, as he does always, in his end-of-season press conference. Pat Riley literally went on a heater. He saw what happened last night in the roast, and he said, hold my prune juice. Or Merlot. What do older people say? He's like 80 years old now. What is he drinking on, you think?
I think it's wine.
Wine, okay.
Straight wine.
Merlot. Hold my Merlot. I got some things to say. And it concerns me. I'll start by saying this, because we're going to ask the question about who in sports right now would you love to see roasted and whatnot, and we've been taking that on Twitter. We'll open up the phone lines and see who you got. I got somebody in mind myself. But I'll start with this for Miami Heat fans right now, because this kind of derailed everything for me. Pat Riley being so open, so honest, and really so targeted about his own roster. It's going to be a long summer. Strap in. Buckle up. It's going to get convoluted. The Heat are going to be rumored in every single superstar that might be on the move. It's going to take forever to figure out what's going to actually happen with Jimmy Butler or the rest of the players on this roster. But that's exactly what I want to address off the top. Pat Riley, who, again, when he speaks, he does so very pointedly. He does so confidently, pointedly, and it's always something that he's really trying to get after. So I want to address what he talked about, and I want to start off with Pat Riley criticizing Jimmy Butler. Now, I don't know if you saw this over the weekend or not, but Jimmy Butler, in an interview, got caught talking about how the Knicks and the Celtics would both be home if Jimmy Butler were available and playing in this NBA postseason. I don't disagree with Jimmy, but Pat Riley seems to have taken a bit of, let's just say, what were you about to say?
Umbrage?
Umbrage is a good word. There we go. You dig deep in the Oxbridge dictionary for that one. He took a bit of umbrage with what Jimmy had to say. Here's Pat Riley telling his superstar, the face of the franchise right now, to shut up.
For him to say that, I thought, is that Jimmy trolling or is that Jimmy serious? If you're not on the court playing against Boston or on the court playing against the New York Knicks, you should keep your mouth shut in your criticism of those teams.
He wasn't joking right there. He pretty much told Jimmy Butler to muzzle it if you're not out there on the court fighting with the team. He also, multiple times in that presser today, talked specifically about Jimmy Butler's availability during the regular season and how they've had conversations, the Heat front office, with his agent about maybe pushing for him to play more games, to have more availability. He also credited and honored a guy like Jaime Jaquez Jr. for wanting to be able to play all 82 games and whatnot. So you can see what he's angling at. It's kind of that he's got his old man cap on right now, right? And he's on his, because in 2024, you don't see any other presidents of basketball operations or general managers or anybody criticizing outwardly their star and their star's availability. Maybe outside of Ty Lue with the Clippers and what he's had to deal with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. But Pat Riley right here coming at the availability of Jimmy Butler. And then I think the biggest thing that's getting overlooked, that's getting all the plays over the national airwaves, which I get. But the thing that's getting most overlooked from what Pat Riley had to say today at his end-of-season press conference about the Miami Heat, Barry Jackson with the Miami Herald asked him straight up, would you consider trading Jimmy Butler? The Heat are in a weird position this offseason. Tyler Hero synced his trade value in those 5 games against the Boston Celtics. And if you don't believe me, Pat Riley himself got up on the dais today and talked to the media and said, well, Tyler's a bit fragile. Fragile. He used the word fragile to describe a guy that the Heat would be likely trying to move this offseason. That dude is starting to turn into almost a negative asset at this point. He's starting to seem like a salary filler, a throw-in of a trade, not just because of the way that the Heat were not able to move him last year, but this season, and specifically this postseason, tanked his value a bit, and it might be beyond reconciliation. But here's Pat Riley when asked by Barry Jackson, would Jimmy Butler be available for trade to get somebody in here to Miami that can hang another banner at Kaseya Center? And just listen to his answer.
Pat, if you guys determine over the coming weeks and months that your non-Jimmy and non-Bam assets are not enough to appeal to other teams to get a quality player back, an all-star, someone of that ilk in return, would you then at that point have to at least be open to considering a trade for Jimmy?
No. Not right now.
No, a pause, and not right now. What I hear right there from Pat Riley is, not only is Jimmy Butler going to be available, I think everybody on this Miami Heat roster this offseason will be available sans Bam Adebayo. He opened up this press conference with a very ambiguous rant, not really a rant, but a diatribe about change. About change. And it didn't feel like he was directing it at anyone or any individual person until later on when asked about Jimmy Butler, he said he's going to have to consider change. And the more and more Pat Riley talks about change and talks about how this 5-year window for the Miami Heat, it came with its ups, several downs as well, but no championships. I expect some harsh changes this offseason, but I also think it's going to be a long summer full of rumors and angling and more ambiguous quotes from probably Riley and other sources. I'm not looking forward to it. But what I would be looking forward to, coming on the heels of the greatest roast of all time with Tom Brady on that Netflix special, and you should watch it if you haven't, is which athlete would you most want to see be roasted next? And this one, it feels like the obvious answer in this one that everybody keeps on gluing to and clawing to is LeBron James. LeBron James is the guy we want to see roasted. We want to see King James go up there, and we'll get the hairline jokes in, and we'll talk about how he keeps moving cities, he keeps firing coaches. What is he up to, like about his 10th coach, I think, in his career right now, and that's been all over the headlines. Like, LeBron James, yes, an easy target, but I think y'all are missing the ball here. Because, number one, LeBron James is going to set up so many guardrails based on who can either get up there and roast him or what they can discuss, that I think a LeBron James roast would actually end up being a little more boring than you would assume. You know who would have the best roast that we think about right now that's a superstar that's also in the ecosystem that people that are sports fans and non-sports fans know about him and have somewhat of an opinion on him? That's Kevin Durant. If I were to have the next sports roast to follow up on the greatest of all time in Tom Brady, quote unquote, I'm going straight to Kevin Durant. You get him up there and think about all of the characters that you're going to have alongside Kevin Durant that'll be able to roast him. You're going to get Draymond Green, unfiltered. You're going to get Stephen Curry. You're going to get Russell Westbrook. You might get James Harden. You're going to get, the several different coaches. I'm thinking like those are the people who not only, Kevin Durant's one of the most sensitive superstars we've ever had. He's also very vulnerable and open. He's the kind of guy that would maybe not put anything off limits except for one thing, and we're going to get to that in a second. But Kevin Durant would be the perfect candidate for the next sports roast. And like you said, C-Cat, how you made it appointment viewing to watch Tom Brady, I would be appointment viewing, waiting to see what comes of a KD roast. And it has got to start with some jokes about how he never brushes his hair. That's the easy, that's the low-hanging fruit. But think about how many other things that you can get on KD about. Right. Like his rings that he won in Golden State, the cupcake stuff going out of OKC, the Mr. Unreliable, the burner Twitter account, the melodramatic, way that he appears to everybody like he's a malcontent. This would be amazing stuff. Kevin Durant, how is that not a guy that you think of first, C-Cat?
I think we're setting ourselves for disappointment, whoever it is, right? So we can poke the flaws into any option we give today or anyone else does, because I think we got the best. The White Whale was the first whale on this Netflix series that might go on forever because of how great it was last night. Brady is the best option. So not anyone can be as great as Brady. So I think KD would be a good option.
I think Kevin Durant would. And we also ask you on the Baptist Health Hotlines, who would you like to see in sports be roasted next? We had the greatest roast of all time with Tom Brady. Who would be the next greatest? Who could be up there on maybe the Mount Rushmore of sports greats to be roasted? And keep in mind, it's got to be somebody that also would agree to do so. Let's be realistic about this. Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776, 888-760-3776. Who in sports would you like to see get roasted next on the heels of what Tom Brady did? I say it's Kevin Durant. What say you? We also asked you on Twitter, at ESPN West Palm. Here go a couple of the responses. I was a little bit surprised. C-Cat, because for most people, I would have thought we would have got a bunch of LeBrons. And I saw a lot of LeBron on other people's polls, but I think it's because we have well-versed fans here at ESPN West Palm, especially those of Theoretically Speaking, that we actually got a varied amount of responses. Who would you like to see roasted next? We have Hennessy Williams says, people don't understand how epic an Antonio Brown roast would be.
That would get sloppy.
That's dangerous.
Yes.
That's actually dangerous. My boy Mike McCoy says Roger Goodell. I feel like that's the NFL draft, though.
Yeah.
Also the roast of Roger Goodell, he doesn't have enough friends and allies for it to feel fun. It feels like everybody's just being mean to him.
Yeah, a bunch of old white dudes, owners and stuff. Like, it wouldn't be that funny.
Now, this one will be good right here from Maddox Greenberg, Stephen A. Smith.
I don't know if Stephen A. Smith can take himself as a joke enough. I think he takes himself too seriously to consider that right now in his stage.
That's real. Also, what would you come after, right? Like, what do you come after with Stephen A. Smith? Because he is such a caricature, and he's very vibrant. He puts so much content out there that there's going to be enough material.
Yeah.
But what do you get Stephen A. on? I don't know. You let us know. Who would you like to see roasted next in sports? I say Kevin Durant. What say you? Hit us up on the Baptist Health Hotline, 888-760-3776. 888-760-3776. We've got Devontae in Atlanta. He joins, theoretically speaking. First and foremost, Vontae, who would you love to see next in a roast of an athlete? Did you watch the Tom Brady roast?
Yes, I did. It was great.
It was a good one, right? It was enjoyable. Who do you think?
Yeah.
Who do you think can top that, or at least match that level of energy and intrigue that Tom Brady was able to provide on Netflix last night?
I think I wanted to say LeBron, but I think the best person to me would be Shaq.
So a Shaq roast where I don't know. So that's a good call. I appreciate the call, Vontae.
Yeah.
You said what?
And I was saying he's gonna come with it though. Shaq's gonna come with it, and Shaq got low key haters all around him now.
That's what I was about to say. I feel like, again, and appreciate the call, Vontae. That's a good call on saying Shaq. I feel like we get that on Inside the NBA, right? Like Chuck's got to be up there, and if you get Shaq up there, that means you do get Chuck up there on the podium, which would be a whole lot of fun. I just don't know, like, what do you? And didn't Shaq already do a roast?
Pretty sure he did with Comedy Central way back when. But this is going to be the new taste of the year. Everyone's going to try to recreate the magic that we saw last night, but it's going to be hard to do because Tom Brady's coming out of this looking sparkling. Right?
Yes.
Everyone loves Tom Brady after last night because he dished it out well, and he also took it like a champ most of the time. Everyone's going to try to get those points on their resume, so we'll see if more guys take the leap.
And one person we can guarantee wouldn't do it is LeBron James. We were going to play I think Brian Windhorst on. Do we have that?
Yeah, we got it.
So people want to say LeBron James. Here's Brian Windhorst, who knows LeBron James probably like his own family. This is him on Unsportsmanlike this morning addressing a potential LeBron James roast.
Wendy, could LeBron handle a roast of him like Brady last night?
No way. He'd say that he could, but then it would turn dark. Because the thing about it is that some of these, he's had a lot of teammates over the years and a lot of different coaches. There'd be a lot of bad blood and a lot of stories they could bring up. But God, I'd love to watch it.
The moment they bring up Delonte West, LeBron James would it would get ugly right then and right there. 888-760-3776. Who would you like to see next up to the stage in a celebrity roast? 888-760-3776. I know we got Mike Tannenbaum coming up on the other side to talk some sport, talk some football. Do we have anybody else on the line that we can get in before?
Yeah, Joe in Jupiter wants to answer the question.
Joe's in Jupiter. He's on Theoretically Speaking. And Joe, who would you like to see of all the athletes in sports be roasted next?
So before I get to one of my favorite athletes who I would love to see roasted, did y'all happen to see Kyrie take PJ Tucker to the blender the other night on that three-pointer in the corner? How fantastic was that?
He's locked in. I'm nervous about how good the Mavericks look right now. Kyrie's locked in. They're playing defense well. You guys are promising. But let's get back to the roast. Who's your athlete or coach?
Thank you. Okay, as much as I would love, I love him every time he talks. He's must-see TV. I would say Michael Irvin, the tree number 88, because of the stories he's had in his past and how entertaining he is when he's on TV with his NFL Network, and I think he now has a job coming up with ESPN. I would love to see him roast and see how he reacts. I think it would be just must-see TV, just like last night, which I haven't watched yet, but I'm definitely watching tonight.
Appreciate the call, Joe. I like that call, too, but the problem is Michael Irvin moving the needle enough? I don't think the casual fan is tapping in on a Michael Irvin roast.
Right, maybe like 15 to 20 years ago. That's like Brady struck the iron was hot, right? We kind of had a 1 year withdrawal without Brady, or 2.5, or a year and a half, 2 years.
Let's stop acting like we've had a break from the dude. Every other week, the dude is flirting with coming back to the NFL. Also flirting with coming back to the NFL, Mike Tannenbaum. This guy's all over the TV screens. It happens. I should ask him about that. Are you thinking about getting back into the GM chair? Either way, he's jumping on Theoretically Speaking next to talk some football, and I got some theoreticals for him from the NFL that I'm curious to get his opinion on. That's C-Cat. I'm Theo Dorsey. We're Theoretically Speaking on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN.